Today's practice will begin down in Shavasana. Lying comfortably on your back, place your palms on your belly, creating a small frame around your belly button and beginning to observe the way that your breath stimulates movement through your stomach. Today's practice is devoted to clearing, purifying our stomach meridian line. When our stomach meridian is off balance, we tend to fall into patterns of worry, of anxiety, of craving, or of constantly trying to please others. We might tend to fall into states, often prolonged states of boredom or disinterest in the things going on in our life. And so can you take a moment here to set an intention to let go of whichever of these qualities resonates with you, to let go of worry or anxiety, craving or pleasing others, boredom or a lack of interest. Trusting that as we move through these physical shapes, we can start to tackle some of the underlying emotions that live inside our bodies. As you inhale, gently bend your knees and set your feet hip distance apart on your mat. Relax your arms alongside your body as you start to wrap your shoulder blades under your back body and take your hands to your lower back, or interlace your hands beneath your body. Arriving here in bridge pose, if this is too intense, take a block or pillow underneath your bum for support. Otherwise, with your chin slightly tucked in towards your chest and your knees pushing away from your body, begin to settle into our first principle in all of our yin yoga practice: stillness. Stillness of your mind and stillness of your body. As you exhale, slowly lower your hips down to the floor. Squeeze both of your knees in towards your chest. Make any micro movements here that help ease the tenderness that might be living in your back body. Noticing the places that feel weak or strong, hard or soft, tight and loose. And then gently rolling over onto the left side of your body and pressing yourself all the way up to seated. From here, we're coming directly into a squat. You can take a blanket beneath your heels if your heels don't reach the floor. And you determine the width of your feet from one another based on your own body. Your knees are bent deeply and your elbows are pressing your knees apart as your palms connect at heart center, and an inhalation lifts through your chest, opening your heart. As you exhale, you have the option of walking your hands underneath your bum, letting your gaze sink down in space and rounding through your cervical and thoracic spine. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. On your next inhalation, slowly bring your hands out in front, lift your chest. Take your palms down to the floor behind you as you drop your bum onto the floor and come into a comfortable cross-legged seated position. Relax your palms alongside your body, resting open hands on your thighs. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, drop your chin in towards your chest and begin to roll your head over towards the right. Roll your head all the way back and around in a great big circle. Continue rolling your head in a great big circle as we start to touch on the jaw, the neck, the various focal points of our stomach meridian line. When you come back to center, go ahead and switch directions, twirling your head around in circles twice on this side and observing the sensations that live here. As you come back to center, inhale, loop your shoulders up and back. Once, twice. And then go ahead and switch directions, looping your shoulders back and through, just noticing how your upper body feels today. Gently reach your right arm up overhead. Take your right hand over your left ear. And as you walk your left fingertips away from your body by any amount, start to draw your right ear towards your right shoulder. Your breath can dictate the intensity of this stretch, breathing right into that left lateral line of your neck before you come back to center and switch sides, extending your left arm up overhead, placing your left palm on your right ear and walking your right fingertips away. Inhale to lengthen through the right side of your neck, noticing the sensations here, and exhale, sinking in, surrendering in. And gently release both hands down to the floor. Take a big breath, and as you exhale, find softness both through your face, your chest, and your whole body. And then go ahead and find your way down onto your belly. Now feeling the imprint of your tummy on the floor, bend your knees and place the soles of your feet together. If this feels uncomfortable, gently cross one ankle over the next, and we have the option of interlacing our hands behind our head. The primary culprit in a disharmonious stomach meridian or stomach chi is the food that we eat, the drinks that we drink, the things that we put inside of our body. And naturally, when we put things inside of us that do not serve us, we end up feeling nauseous with stomach aches, gas, vomiting. But these are just the physical manifestations of an imbalanced stomach meridian. What happens to our mental body when we consume things that do not serve us? We feel confused, we feel obsessive, weak, and we often get stuck in a place of indecision with an inability to make simple and complex decisions about our everyday life. And so the work that we've come to our mat to do today is designed to find a clarity in our thought, an ability to confidently make decisions, an ability to reconnect to our own creative energy. Gently release your hands and your legs down on the floor. Rest your forehead on the mat. Bend your left knee and draw your left knee up towards your elbow, keeping your right leg extended down on your mat. Either open your arms wide or bend your arms at the elbows and rest whichever cheek feels most comfortable down on the floor. And so as we come into this reversed variation of wind relieving pose, we're giving our physical and emotional body an opportunity to clear, to purge. As we breathe in peace, and as we breathe out boredom, disinterest, worry. Allowing our body to reconnect to its natural digestive patterns. Take a few more deep breaths here, allowing your belly to soften closer and closer into the earth. And on your next inhalation, use your hands to support you as you extend your left leg back in space, finding a place of rest before you bend your right knee up towards your right elbow. Keep your left leg extended down on the floor. Find a length through the sides of your body. And as you exhale, let both your belly, your shoulders, your chest relax. And as we allow this shape to wring out anything inside of us that does not bring us clarity, insights, creativity, we start to become more comfortable with ourselves exactly as we are. Perhaps even making a commitment to ourselves here that we will nourish ourselves with the food that we eat. We will nourish our relationships with the choices we make in what we consume. We will honor our body by eating healthy foods, by staying hydrated, by resisting our need to linger in a state of indecision, by observing when we're worrying incessantly about something, perhaps letting those negative emotions go. The same way that we digest our food, can we start to digest or excrete any negative emotions that we feel right now, lingering, living, sitting, resting inside our body and our brain. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth wide and exhale, let go, and continue breathing. On your next inhalation, extend your right leg back in space, plant your palms on the floor, and come up onto all fours with your knees hip distance apart, your feet flexed and your hips high. Go ahead and stretch your arms out overhead, coming into Anahatasana or melting heart pose. Perhaps using your breath here to inhale the sensation of peace and exhale worry, anxiety, boredom. On your next inhalation, lift yourself back up onto all fours. Plant your palms under your body. Inhale, lift your chin and your chest and your tailbone high. Exhale, round through your upper back, gaze in towards your navel. Inhale, roll your shoulders up and back, lift your gaze, lift your heart. Exhale, round through your spine, tuck your tailbone under. Inhale, roll all the way up. Exhale, round, push your palms down into the floor. Holding here, suspended in space before you come back. Inhaling, loop your shoulders back, send your tailbone high. And as you exhale, step your right knee forward, just behind your right wrist, preparing for swan pose. Extend your left leg back in space with your hip, your knee, and your ankle in one straight line. Your right leg is relatively parallel with the top of your mat, but don't become obsessed with getting it perfect. Take a deep breath in as you lift your chest, and your exhalation allows you to come down to the floor. Sinking into this deep stretch through our psoas, through our hip flexors. You can absolutely place a blanket or a block beneath your forehead for support here. As you arrive deeper and deeper, can you allow your muscles to relax? Your chest to relax, your heart to melt down into the floor. Spending the next few moments of silence and stillness here in swan pose. Can you notice the sensations that arrive here without falling into a place of worry or anxiety, without surrendering to a place of indifference or boredom, rather letting yourself be fascinated and intrigued by all of the feelings that are moving through you? On your next inhalation, gently lift your chest. And as you exhale, find that sinking sensation again, maybe slowly integrating very subtle movements. Stay with the pose, stay with your breath. Finding stillness again here as you really deeply feel the sensations. And on your next inhalation, press your hands down into the floor. Come up onto the tips of your fingers, open your chest for a moment, feel your heart lift, and lean over onto the right hip as you draw your left leg all the way around so as to stack your left knee on top of your right knee. Stack your left knee on top of your right knee with your feet facing out in either direction. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, by any amount can you fold forward. Inhale, feel your heart lift up through your back, and as you exhale, feel both of your sit bones sink into the floor. Observing shoelace pose. An intensification of this deep stretch through our hips and our psoas. Subtle flexion in our upper back to stimulate and stretch out our spinal joints. As you sink deeper and deeper, can you find your personal source of creativity, of critical thinking, of decision making? Can you find your willpower to stay quietly here in stillness, sinking deeper and deeper with every single exhalation? Inhale, lifting, lengthening through your spine. Lean back onto your palms. Lean back, extend your legs out in front, and take a moment to make the movements that feel intuitive here. Mindfully extend your right leg back. Check to see that your hip, your knee, and your ankle are in one straight line, and then come up onto the tips of your fingers. Lift your chest. With your left knee bent behind your left wrist and perhaps a block or blanket tucked under your left sit bone, maybe your right thigh to support you. Gently make your way down to the floor. Arriving here in swan pose, peacefully, silently noticing and observing all of the sensations, all of the feelings that come up. Notice the presence of boredom, of worry, of distraction. Take a deep breath in, pulling in peace with your breath, and as you exhale, allow all of those thoughts to melt away. Gently preparing your mind and body to come up. Press your hands into the floor, lift your chest away from the earth. And take a moment here as you lean onto your left hip, sweep your right leg all the way around. And this time rest your right knee on top of your left knee. Inhale, lengthen through your spine, maybe taking your hands to your toes or your feet. Option to hang out here, staying upright, or with an exhalation, slowly fold forward, continuing to keep your sit bones planted, grounded down on the floor. And as you start to come into this forward fold, perhaps even setting your gaze on your belly, can you feel what it feels like to nourish yourself, to take care of yourself? Noticing that sometimes the ability to nourish ourselves physically translates directly into a higher state of emotional well-being. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, melt a little bit deeper here. On your next inhalation, slowly and mindfully lift your chest away from your thighs. Lean back onto your hands, open your heart. Extend your legs out in front. Make any movements, perhaps rocking your knees from side to side. At your own pace, go ahead and come down onto your belly. Come down onto your belly. Extend your legs, but keep your right knee hugging in towards your chest. Interlace your hands in front of your right shin as we come into a second variation of wind relieving pose. Inhale to draw your knee closer towards your armpit, and exhale the weight of your left leg down onto the floor. Noticing the sounds that might be moving through your body now as you start to digest things that have perhaps been stuck inside of you. Rest your right arm down on the floor, palm planted. Take your left leg to the outside of your right thigh and cross your right leg all the way over your body. With your knee bent, take a deep breath into your lower back. Exhale, soften both shoulders onto the floor, and again start to observe, are there any sounds? Any gurgles? Any bubbles? Tuning in to what it feels like to digest. When our stomach meridian becomes so imbalanced, when we've forgotten how to nourish and take care of ourselves, the most extreme manifestations of disharmony, beyond worry and indecision and anxiety, beyond abdominal pain, diarrhea, our insomnia, anorexia, bulimia, even infertility. Preserving our dignity and our love and compassion for ourselves in these bodies that we get to wear and carry and live a life in. Take a deep breath in through your nose, breathing in peace. And as you exhale, release worry, drawing your right knee back to center just for a moment before you extend your right leg down on your mat. Fascinated by the extension you've created in the right side of your body. Hands resting on your belly, observing again how it moves, how it breathes. Inhale your left knee towards your chest. Interlace your hands in front of your left shin. Take a full breath in as you draw your left knee closer to your armpit now. Exhaling the weight of your right leg down onto the floor. Flexing your right foot. As you drop into the sounds of your body, releasing whatever does not serve it. Gently open your left arm out alongside your mat. Take your left leg in your right hand and cross your left leg over your body, keeping your left knee bent. Perhaps setting your gaze in the opposite direction of your leg as you take a deep breath in and exhale to drop in, to sink, to surrender. And take 5 more full deep breaths here. On your next inhalation, draw your knees into center, rolling around on your spine. Considering how you feel now, maybe hug your knees in, lift your head towards your knees, rounding through your upper back. Squeezing yourself, loving yourself, pulling everything in towards your stomach. And then exhaling your entire body back down onto your mat. Resting your palms on your belly as you step your feet mat distance apart and let your knees fall in towards one another. Coming into resting pose just for a few moments as we reconnect to the sensations of our breath in our belly. When you're ready, begin to extend your legs down on your mat, keeping your hands on your belly for final Shavasana today. Connecting both thumbs and index fingers, creating a small frame around your belly button. And gently separate the biting surfaces of your teeth, close your eyes, and begin to breathe softer and softer as you melt away into final Shavasana.